that's not right. I'm just going to throw that out there. We're going to let's just jump right in, boys. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Countess J. Leo Grande on Kwong Master Splinter. On Narbash NATO Sick on Murdoch and Involve on the Fury and the Fury of Heavens coming out of the caster. Grip.
Not Ghost is going to be playing Twin Blast. Lucer is on Icky and Scorch. Vanilla Cutie is rocking the mid lane. God dang it. Rocking the mid lane Gadget. Regal rocking the Hulk skin, the purple and the green Hulk skin there on Rampage. And Tokyo Nicholas in the jungle on Grux. Hey guys, we're only human. We're only I have Discord pulled up, and Narender just responded. He's not happy about this. He's upset with himself, guys. We're into this game. Shane, Reflect, Countess, Reflect, offlane, Reflect against Iggy and Scorch. We saw Lucer run Iggy and Scorch as a support in yesterday's games, and it really did a good job at shutting down the Countess player. This is Reflect. This is a solid offlaner, a much more skilled offlaner. Do you think he's going to have a hard time dealing with Iggy and Scorch in these turrets? Shane, are you there? Ladies and gentlemen, for some reason, I don't think Shane is with us anymore. So, Pith, can you still hear me? Okay, perfect. Just wanted to make sure. So yesterday, guys, we saw. Bye, guys. Yesterday we saw. That's it for the day. We saw Lucer play a Iggy and Scorch against the Countess, and it just did such a damn good job at shutting the Countess down. Countess wasn't able to get any farm. Countess wasn't able to be aggressive at all. Leo, I think to counter this, Leo's going to have to do a really good job invading this lane, making sure they're keeping these turrets shut down, and making sure they're putting a very high priority to allow Reflect to get that farm he needs. Reflect has picked up Taskmaster, so he's going to be getting that healing in that lane, so hopefully he can be a little bit more aggressive. Mid lane setup here, guys. We've got Involve against Vanilla Cutie. Caster Grim. Caster Grim is... Yes. Hey, buddy.
Hey, have you ever accidentally unplugged your preamp to your microphone?
No, you should ask Involve about that,
though. So... that was good. I'm so proud of you, Notch. That was so good.
Ah, man.
Reflect on Countess. Countess early game is booty butt cheeks. It's not that good. However, and the last time we saw Lucer in support, it was against the Countess and was bullying him back. Already, though, we're not even 3 minutes into the game. Reflect is doing a good job manipulating the waves, pulling the wave back behind the tower, using Shadow Slip, getting some DPS onto Twin Blast, and then falling back. So Reflect is in a situation where he knows he's going to be struggling to find any sort of semblance of farm, but with that being said, he's doing a decent job in such a dire circumstance.
Did we just miss the first blood?
We didn't.
We didn't. Does look like Murdoch is going to fall. They do pick up that kill onto Murdoch here. That was Tokyo Nicholas with that good rotation and engage. He's kind of in a weird spot right now. They're going to land that thunk. He's got the jukes. He's got the jives. He's got those little tiny raptor feet. Rhino feet. He's going to be able to escape there. Involve being aggressive in the mid lane. I thought he was being aggressive against Cutie, but he wasn't. Cutie was invisible.
Oh, buddy.
Not going to be able to mitigate that damage. He's got to be careful. That displacement blast is there.
Vanilla turning around. Smash the Q button. Use the Q button. No Q button. Involve gets the kill. Good rotation over there from J. Leo. On Kwong. Not Aurora. And gets the first blood over on Vanilla. I thought for sure Involve was going to get taken out there, but J. Leo backing up his buddy. The new teammate saying, we got you, bro.
We got you, friend. And that's exactly what they did. Kept him alive. Shane.
What up?
This tier 1 tower over here for Reflect is very, very low. Double-edged sword right here, Shane. They push this tower. They push it really fast. And then they just allow Reflect to back up this wave to the tier 2 and safe farm. And put...
Oh, Reflect was going to try to go in there, but actually missed the Shadow Slip. J. Leo's here, though. Lands the tether, Shadow Slip, moving forward. Reflect a little bit sluggish and can't go in. And Lucer is, man, that's Iggy, boys. Iggy. The support Iggy picks up the kill over on Reflect. A misstep from Reborn. J. Leo made the call to go in. Reflect didn't follow up immediately. Was a little bit staggered. So that actually the minion wave pulled away from the turrets, and then the turrets auto-focused down Reflect, giving them a kill and maybe sacrificing the tower at the same time as well.
Regal Infiltrator's in trouble in the off lane. We've also got an engagement in mid lane. Involved very low, push back underneath that tower. He does have to back up. On my screen, it's showing Regal at almost no health. Not sure if that's a visual
Correct.
bug or if that's true. Okay.
That's on my end as well. But
Okay.
actually, I think that's a bug because his health's not moving at all, despite the fact that he has 6 regen.
Okay, so it is a bug. Yeah.
Yeah.
NATO Sick has got him pushed up to this tower. Does look like Regal Infiltrator he is regenning.
Yeah.
It's a new dawn, new bugs, new
Yep.
time. Tower is relatively healthy, but I feel like taking this tower down on Reflect's side of the map, Shane, pushing this as quickly as they did, this just allows Reflect to free farm. This allows him to get the safe farm he needs. So the next time we see him in an engagement, not Ghost is really going to have to worry about that burst damage. Reflect does have great scaling on this hero. Countess has got amazing scaling. And so getting those levels is very, very important. We're also looking for certain cards. Invader Mage, possibly Mana Flow Acolyte, Thaumaturge, Sleeper Agent, which is the 10 cost order card, knowledge card.
Gag order.
Which silences, on top of silencing, it also makes you take an increased 15% damage. You then combo that with the level 25 gem, which he doesn't have it. He has Amplify Aura. I was going to say Deadly Mana, or overpowered spells, but he actually has Amplify Aura, which nearby enemy units take 10% increased ability damage. So he does have the extra bonus damage. He just doesn't have that overpowered spell.
Involved's in trouble. Lucer drops down, uses the ultimate coming out for Miggy, but Involved is able to narrowly escape right there. I thought he was going to get
twice, Shane.
Yeah, he's just a slippery Grimmix, man. He might be a fridge, but that fridge got moves.
Hey, Shane, answer your phone.
What'd you say?
Is your refrigerator running?
Oh, my lord. I apologize on the behalf of everyone in chat. Master Splinter's going to get smashed. He's also going to get grabbed. He's also going to get the clapped coming out from Challenge of the Warlord on Grux. Tokyo Nicholas gets the kill. Already, Hydra. I said the previous game, the offlaner and jungler weren't connecting that very much. Here in this game, they've done a really good job thus far. As well as Not Ghost has been much more of a presence, too.
Yeah. Involved pushing down this mid lane here. He's come very close to dying twice, but is able to just get out. Vanilla Cutie with a rotation behind. Does Involve see it? Involve doesn't see it. Search and Destroy misses. There's the sticky bomb. He is going to shield it, take 0 damage. Look at the strength of that, Shane. This is why Grim is a caster now, because he's able to just ignore all that damage. Well done.
He's essentially a caster carry, and I think that's really cool because we haven't had a carry caster.
Right.
You know? Like, I actually think that's a really, really cool design idea. I don't know if that was intentional or not. Part of me thinks it was.
Reflect Dova Tower, Shane. He got a sticky bomb. He got a Tesla dome, a cage of electricity on his face, and he died.
I mean, if I had all those things happen to me, I too would probably die as well. Still, Reflect is level 7. Compared that to Regal, who's level 5. So that means Countess it's all about the levels on Countess. Farm is important as well, but it's all about those levels. Hit level 13, get that level 3 of Feast online, and become that one-shot machine that is Countess. A thing you want to look at anytime there is a Countess on your opponent's team is what tools do we have to deal with getting Countess off of our backline? And I do think Hydra have a number of those. Speed Gate, obviously, to create distance, but I think Grux is going to be the big mitigator here because he has Challenge of the Warlord. If Tokyo Nicholas is very quick a reaction time, he can actually interrupt Feast with that ultimate of Grux if he's in the right position, then he's able to pull the trigger fast.
Smash and grab, another way to do it. There's lots of ways for them to deal with that. They just have to be, it's all about positioning and timing to make sure you're making sure that Feast does not go off. That being said, Dark Tide and Blade Siphon, still a crap ton of damage.
Yep.
It doesn't necessarily mean because you've blocked the Feast, you're safe. It just means you don't die in 2 moves, you die in 3. 15 seconds. Involved just spamming away. Every time it's on cooldown.
You gotta play it. Are you streaming tonight?
I'm watching. We'll see.
Okay, if you
I may play
it. Gotta play it.
I gotta play it. I gotta give it a go.
Gotta play it. All right.
It's a lock-on. I'm good at lock-ons.
I mean,
you're playing a lot of trouble here.
Getting chased down. Challenge of the Warlord using Feast, but actually is able to dodge the sticky bomb with Shadow Slip, keeping him alive a little bit longer than to be expected. Involved actually uses the right mouse button over on the Tesla Dome. Was looking to have it on the sticky bomb, although the damage from the Tesla Dome forced it out. I mean, Involved took the full brunt of that, but still, nonetheless, Vanilla Cutie is still going to get caught out. And Involved is going to get a little bit of reprisal there. J. Leo is the one that picked up the kill. Nadosic, all the meanwhile, just farming. And this is what Reborn does. They create space for NATO. This is the underlying foundation that has built their success, is creating space, and they're playing to what has yielded them success thus far.
So Reflect is down 3 times. He does have Invader Mage on line 7, so he's dealing okay damage. He wants to hit that level 9. Feast upgrade to level 2. We are still looking for a little bit more farm on him, but Countess with her scaling, it's not instantly game over. Now, if Reflect dies 3 or 4 more times, you know, if Reflect continues to feed and not get anything off of this, then we're going to have an issue. But right now, he's still in an okay spot. He's able to clear these lanes. He's able to get the farm he needs. We're just waiting for that level 9, and hopefully we'll see a little bit more aggression out of him.
Purple buff picked up here by Tokyo Nicholas. A forward ward inside the strong side jungle of Reborn. Looking around, he's going to find J. Leo backing, but I don't think there's any kill potential. He's pretty much just by himself. If anything, he's just doing a little recon, trying to take a look at the jungle. It's farmed up. Get some wards in there as well. So they have really good vision surrounding the Raptor Cap, which was just recently taken. And with that vision, it's good. It's great if you have the vision. The more important thing is, what can you do? Because right now, Hydra has all the map control in the world. They just have... There's no area that Reborn can really go with aggressive movement and it not be shown to Hydra. So I want to see them do something with this vision, not just simply sit back idly.
Mid lane here, Involved being pushed by both Lucer and Not Ghost. Iggy zoning him out, setting up those turrets. Lucer does, or Involved does have a way to deal with those turrets. Reflect, Vanilla Cutie in the jungle here. He's going to take 2 ultimates from Leo Grande. He's going to jump into the tower, and he's going to die. Kill headed over to Involved, Shane. So Vanilla Cutie just getting caught out, just getting rotated on and blown up. Like you said, vision. What do you do with that vision? They have all the vision, but they're still being caught out. They're still getting picked up. They're not really utilizing it to its full potential.
And now it's going to be Reborn are the ones off the heels of that pickoff, pushing down the mid-tier 1 tower. Should be able to pick it up pretty easily. Lucer gets hit by the tether. No ult to be used, but it's not even necessary. And it is Grux derping himself to a kill right there. Takes out Narbash, but they give up a tower in exchange. Reborn playing that objectives, playing to the objectives, and now with that mid tower down, that really opens up a lot of avenues for aggressive rotations into either side of the jungle of Hydra.
Involved was going for the river buff. Did he pick it up? He does get the river buff. And Vanilla Cutie trying to get some damage out there, misses that sticky bomb. We got four wards down on the side of Hydra. We've got Regal Infiltrator. Has not really done much at this point. He is just farming away. Haven't seen him really in any of these engagements. He's having to deal with Nadosic, and Nadosic does not feel threatened and has continued to push past this midpoint in the river here, and he just continues to play very aggressive. But they've been no rotations on him. They're just letting Nadosic farm, Shane. I think this is a horrible idea for Hydra Esports. Why let the carry just free farm like this?
They are going to be able to pick up a tier 1 tower here in the mid lane. So yeah, they're letting them free farm, but at least they are gaining ground elsewhere on the map, which is definitely something they struggled with in the previous game. So that is an improvement. They absolutely are playing significantly better in this game. Of course, the overall question is, are they playing good enough to bring this to a game number 3 series here? We love game number 3s here. J. Leo is going to hit the 2 button and click it on a Raptor and get a kill. May get caught out for this greedy play into the Raptors. It is only Grux. He is going to use the Fury of the Heavens to evade death for now. Going to connect with Master Splinter. Is going to be okay. Nadosic's taking a lot. Actually, it was Nadosic and Regal were essentially 1v1 each other, I believe, for a bit here. But now with no ultimate on the side of Regal, he's not going to have any means of escape, especially if any sort of CC land on him. Look at the crash, bang, boom, hitting all 3 members right there, allowing Nadosic to line up the laser and is able to get the kill from long distance. Still, pick up Involve as well as Master Splinter, so it's somewhat of an even exchange, which I think Reborn actually had a pretty good position going into that fight, but Hydra find the way.
Yeah, Hydra picking up 2 kills, possibly going to be picking up this tier 1 tower. Reflect is there to try and deal with this minion wave. He's going to Dark Tide it. Doesn't have quite enough damage yet to clear it out. And I think he just has to let this fall at this point. It's just a tier 1, buddy. Don't let it don't die for it, my friend. He's going to back up. Tier 1's going to fall. They're going to rotate off. Are Raptors still up? I know you said Leo got 1.
Yeah, he flamed his second one. There should be 2 more left, yeah.
So it does look like Nakos is going to rotate over and try to pick Leo Grande coming back in. He lands the tether onto Tokyo Nicholas. Tokyo Nicholas has the ability to dash away. I don't know if he's going to be able to. He is going to get out. Dark Tide did deal significant damage, but he does escape there. So last Raptor is actually going to be picked up by NATO, Sick, Shane. So currently, Regal Infiltrator just been stuck to dealing with NATO Sick. NATO Sick has just been free farming away. And why would you not? Currently sitting at 12 points into agility. Currently sitting at 12 points of agility. He's got Heavy Hitter online, Nitro Boost, Poised Aggressor. We've got Shadow Dancer coming online for Reflect now. So that is definitely a card to look out for that backline. You're going to be invisible. Expect a feast on the mid laner or the carry. And Reflect's going to be able to blow up a target of his choice.
Level 12 compared to the level 10 of Regal. Second game in a row we've seen this offlane rampage, and I'm thinking to myself, what does this offlane rampage have as opposed to another offlaner that they could have picked up there? Obviously he has CC, he has dive capabilities with both Enraged and Leap, but I'm not sure. I'm on the fence about this rampage in the offlane here. His 1v1 potential against NATO Sick was there for a while, but now that NATO Sick has gotten a good deal of farm online, it's now going to start to turn the tides over to where Regal can't even 1v1 down NATO Sick. He is level 11, so he's getting those levels, but I'm not feeling the presence of this offlane rampage. I'm starting to question it a little bit. We'll see how it transitions as the lanes start to fall apart a little bit here. It's 18 minutes into the game. There's going to come a certain point where Rampage is going to have to show up for these fights, and he's going to have to be more than just a idly sitting in his lane.
Coming in, clearing up these turrets at the pit, the pit of death, if you will. I want to point out Tokyo's build on his Grux. He's picked up an Arcane Dancer. Reduces ability damage by 85% for the next 6 seconds. And he also has a blink, so he can be a little bit aggressive. But this will allow him, if Countess decides to go in and blow her kit on the Grux, he'll have a way to deal with that and mitigate a good majority of that damage. Yeah, Regal Infiltrator Shane, he's not been a presence at all. NATO Sick has just been pushing him back on this lane. Look at how far NATO Sick has pushed forward, and there's no rotation coming out of Hydra Esports.
And does he have that lifesteal card or let's see here. What does he have? He has Monster Shot. Just kidding. He doesn't have lifesteal. Over here, Master Splitter uses Crash Bang. Go. Vanilla Cutie gets caught out inside of a jungle. Reborn. Penetrating the strong side jumble of Hydra consistently time and time again, and they just continue to catch people out. At one moment, Hydra had all the map control in the world, but as of the past couple of minutes, they seem to have been lacking enough economy to get these wards and get some vision on the map, because that's the best way you deal with aggressive rotations across the map, is putting wards around the river, especially around those stairs, approaching the gold buff of each safe lane. But with no longer having to deal with Tesla Dome and the team fighting hero that is Gadget, Reborn are going to make the decision to engage onto the Orb Prime. Regal is on the other side of the map, so this is essentially going to be a 3v5 attempt into the Orb Prime, and I don't think they're going to be able to do anything about it. Judging by their positioning, looks like they're going to concede the Orb Prime and just find their defense elsewhere at a later time.
Yeah, just a free Orb Prime at this moment involves zoning out with that GTFO, pushing Lucer back. They've got the advantage economically. They've got the Orb Prime advantage now. NATO Sick has been farming away. He's got some big damage dealing cards on now. This is going to be a very hard defense for Hydra.
Left lane is where they're going to be pushing down right here. Mid, about the line of scrimmage on the map. Right, I believe, is pushing against Reborn. So they have to be careful that they don't overstay, or else they might lose some structures for through. But this is going to be very, very difficult. I think for the first time in this game, all 5 members of Hydra are besides each other making a stand against the tier 2 tower, at least for now. Reflect now rotating to mid lane to try to get that going out here, which is a very common strategy with the Orb Prime. You send the person with the best wave clear to one lane, push it out, and just do a little bit of divide and conquer strategy. Reborn have two different ways they can approach this. They can be the ones that hard engage or wait for Hydra to go in themselves. Tokyo's going to blink for it. Uses it over onto Jaleo, granted, but he's the tank. He's the one soaking the damage. And they're all grouped up, so he's going to use the Fury of the Heavens, getting focus fired down. He does get taken out as well as Master Splitter. They recognize Kaunos was in the mid portion of the map. They were decisive. They initiated. They picked up some kills. They are going to lose a tier 2 tower. Reflect is going to be able to get it done, but more importantly, they survived what could have been a very... They were on thin ice right there, and they're going to continue skating along, at least for now, with just a decisiveness. That's what that was. They finally pulled the trigger on a team fight, and they are able to get some kills. And also, right lane was pushing, and they also get a tier 2 tower for themselves. So that's a pretty big confidence booster. If you're able to survive behind economically and against Orb Prime, still take an advantageous fight like that, Hydra are looking good in this situation, considering they really haven't been able to find a foothold in this series whatsoever.
Yeah, 2 kills. They pick up 2 kills, 2 big kills. They pick up a tier 2 tower. Yes, Reflect does pick up that tier 1 tower in the mid lane, but it's definitely a confidence booster, like you said, for Hydra, who has been behind. This will give them, hopefully, the confidence they need to make another big play like that. We finally saw that initiation, that big front line pay off. It didn't pay off in the last game, and it was the first time in 21 minutes that we've seen it pay off here. Boulders, he popped that ultimate. They were able to take up a lot of damage. Just good combo potential, Shane, with the Tesla Dome on top of everybody. And they picked up some big kills.
Malik's Tribute has been online for Ghost, so he's going to have that shield all the time. I would imagine Sacred Alchemy maybe is a little bit later into the build just with the strength of that card. Tokyo finds out NATO trying to get the damage done, and I don't think there's much of anything that he can do. NATO's very, very low, so it's going to allow Reflect to get it. No, Tokyo's still alive! The ultimate coming out from Iggy actually was just enough damage. The Arcane Dancer completely mitigating the damage on the Feast of Kaunos right there. That card showing its strength.
I mean, Reflect tried. At that point, that's all you can do. He shows up, and Arcane Dancer, I know a lot of people have been running that card on Steel. I've seen people been running it on Narbash as well. It negates. It's 85%, Shane. Reduces ability damage taken by 85% for 6 seconds. It's not one ability. It's all ability damage gets
all
reduced. All of the abilities, all of their damages reduced it by 85%.
Reduced it?
Reduced it. Very strong card. Very strong card, reducing all the damages.
Not only is that very effective against Kaunos, but obviously the ability damage coming out from Involve as well. Less, to a lesser extent, J-Leo's Fury of the Heavens, but yeah, the outside of NATO, the ability damage is the primary, at least the consistent source from Reborn. So that card is going to have a great deal of value. And I thought for sure Tokyo Nicholas was going to go down there. So that was very impressive and just smart timing with that card. Does it have any sort of animation cue or visual cue to see when that card is online?
Shield. The blue.
It's a little shield?
Little blue
oh, okay. So hopefully Reflect can have a little bit closer eye on that in the future to make sure he's not using his full kit in that situation. I don't even think Reflect anticipated that happening. Going back to Reflector, that Shadow Dancer is online, as you mentioned, Notch. So they're going to have to be very, very careful. Level 15 has everything leveled up. All those abilities are leveled up. And this is when Kaunos turns into that scary, scary assassin.
Kaunos has got to be careful. Reflect is 0-4-1 at this point. He really has not been much of a factor. They did a good job shutting him down early. We saw the strength of Arcane Dancer. We saw the strength of Arcane Dancer there, keeping him from securing that kill. So at this point, we really, like you said, he's level 15. He's got all those abilities. We just need to see a little bit more aggression coming out, more calculated aggression, making sure he's picking the right targets, not focusing, like going for Vanilla Cutie or going for Ghost, their carry, and make sure he's blowing up the right target.
Yeah, she saw Regal trying to go in on NATO. Jay Leo was waiting around the corner, anticipating an overextension of the Rampage, but not the case. Regal recognizing the trap that was laid before him and didn't give up a kill. 25 minutes. Death timers are starting to get pretty long here, so stagger deaths or just one pickoff will be enough to fuel a strong push. The GTFO liberal application making Regal very hesitant to go in, as we know he does not have that enrage to initiate here. And I think Reborn are aware of that fact as well. Confidently sweeping into the right lane and pick up Another tier 2 tower upline. Tokyo charges forward, blinks as well. Smash and grab dodged by Involve. Uses that deflect shield very, very well. He has now used the Arcane Dancer, which means he's susceptible to big damage coming down here with GTFO soon to be on. It's going to fall off and down to a quarter HP. Vanilla Cute and No Ghost do have the high ground, but Regal has been forced back. Tesla Dome goes down, hitting all 4 team members. Not going to find a kill, but more importantly, it is going to zone out Reborn from encroaching any closer onto Hydra than they already were, because they were in a threatening position. Any form of crowd control to any one member of Hydra more than likely would have resulted in a kill right there, but the push continues to sustain on the side of Reborn with the economical advantage that they have built up thus far is now in full display here on the right lane, 25.5 minutes into the game. This is a 4v5 defense. Count is pushing down, Reflect pushing that wave down, forcing 2 members of Hydra, which means we might see a collapse coming out from Reborn. J. Leo looking for a tether, trying to find the crowd control, trying to find the initiation. Involve has plenty of mana, so look for a GTFO to continue to chip away at anyone on the side of Hydra, whether it's a tanky hero or maybe a backliner. Tokyo goes in, swing and a miss. Boulder is a miss as well. Very close to having solid initiation on Hydra, but they defend the push coming out there from Reborn. But look at Reflect. Yep. He's got to be careful. He's going to find Vanilla Cutie. He's going to get the damage down, and down goes Gadget. Very, very easily, but can Reflect get away? He needs some peel. The peel is going to be provided by Reborn. So he gets the kill. He goes in, he goes out. Finally, Reborn shows up and is able to get... I'm sorry, Reflect, rather. Shows up and is able to get that kill right there. A very tense moment on both sides of the field, and I'm so surprised only one person was taken out in that very long exchange.
Orb Prime being taken right now. We do see the collapse coming from Hydra Esports. I don't know if they're going to be able to get here to deal anything with this. They have to be careful. Reflect behind them. They're going in. Do we have Flame Possessions online? Couple Flame Possessions. Leo Grande is going to secure it with that Flame Possession, and the aggression is going to continue in the Orb Prime. Man.
It's just Regal trying to chase down NATO, but as of right now, he's completely by himself. Tokyo's trying to find out Reflect, but there certainly is a miscommunication. Regal is still online, but NATO's chasing him down. You can't get away from the police officer that is Murdoch, and Bulb is going to be able to secure the kill. And now no Rampage for 60 seconds. That was a very disconnected fight on the side of Hydra. You had Tokyo trying to deal with Reflect. You had Regal trying to deal with NATO. And with them not being able to connect together, that's not going to result in any kills. And Lucer now picked up as well. So 2 members down on the side of Hydra for some time to come with Orb Prime online. This may be that inhibitor that Reborn has been looking for quite some time.
So Not Ghost is going to pick up the kill on Reflect, guys. We're currently sitting at... Push for the mid lane here. My screen just lagged out. Sorry, guys.
Ooh, big smash and grab over on a J. Leo, but the counter initiation, the Arcane Dancer is popping, and simply is just not enough, and he gets 2 depart immediately. So this should be a mid inhibitor falling with some ease. Vanilla Cutie's there to maybe try to have a defense, but it's not going to be enough. Inhibitor's going to fall.
My replay is completely bugged out, guys. Shane, I apologize. Do work, good, Shane. Man. Shane, do work. You're the best counter in the business.
That's,
do work, son.
That is an egregious lie. I don't know what you're talking about here. So Reborn, I mean, Hydra have been behind, but at least they've been able to defend. They kept bending. They kept bending. They still are bending. They broke a little bit. They snapped a little bit here with the mid inhibitor falling, but they are now at least stabilizing for a moment. Judging by the current positioning. We're having some replay here issue, guys, so bear with us here for just a moment there. And we're getting all lined up. There we go. So, I mean, mid inhibitor down, no doubt about it. Hydra is behind, but the way that they have been playing, there is still a chance of victory here for them, but I think it all comes down to Reflect. He wasn't a presence for the first 20 minutes of this game. Now he's starting to find kills. Now he's starting to actually be an impact. And the moment that Reflect started to show up and do what Countess does a few minutes after the fact, that's when they get an inhibitor.
He's back in the back line going after Not Ghost again. He is.
Is he going to be able to get it? Long Arm of the Law, and he does. The Dark Tide picks up the kill. The Long Arm of the Law was the reason why they were able to pick up that kill right there. If it wasn't for that, he more than likely would have gotten taken out. So a good follow-up from NATO Sector, recognize he needed the help and get that kill onto Not Ghost. All the meanwhile, right lane is pushing out, and Reborn might decide to pincer into right lane, pick her up an inhibitor, or go all in here on the mid lane.
I mean, you allow this lane to push hard. They have to deal with clear here. Involved and Leo Grande trying to push down this tower. Tokyo Nicholas doing what he can with the defense. The rest of the team shows up. Reflect in that back line. He's got to be careful. He's in a little bit of trouble here. He's going to back out. All he's got to do is Dark Tidal Wave, give himself some of that health regen that he needs.
J-Leo's swiping down the inhibitor. It is going to fall. Regal popped in rage in some hopes of trying to body block or tank or keep that inhibitor alive as best as he could, but without Twin Blast being there, there's not much that they could do. They are going to concede the right inhibitor now, and it's a slow bleed from here on out. Again, I feel like the DPS is lacking considerably here on the side of Hydra. Gadget provides the Tesla Dome, but if Vanilla Cutie isn't getting off a good ultimate, then again, it's all up to Ghost to be the sole provider of DPS onto a Kwang, who's extraordinarily difficult to take down, a Countess who's very elusive, and also if there's a Countess on you as Twin Blast, you're probably dead. And Grimmix is just constantly out of range. He's just sort of being a long-ranged artillery is the way you sort of play that, where you're just always out of auto attack or initiation range, and you just bombard them constantly every 15 seconds with GTFO.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we've seen. It's just constant damage coming out, and it's a lot of damage coming out from that GTFO, Shane. Now with Caster Grim, we're seeing it being used on just about anybody. He's not really prioritizing it. Do you want to see Involve prioritize a target, Louis, Vanilla Cutie, or not Ghost, or just continue to free cast it the way he's been doing?
I think he's literally just hitting R and whatever the reticle is on, he's hitting. Like he's hitting Regal. Regal's like the tankiest person on their team, but even then, it's like, well, you're still chipping away at him and making Regal hesitant to engage or, be that front line.
And a little bit of posturing from Twin Blast and Nicholas, Tokyo Nicholas on the backside there, setting up a minion wave to push. Were they able to successfully set that up?
Tokyo charges in, links in as well. Master grab over on the Master Thunder. He was trying to find out NATO sick, but the rest of his team is just now showing up. Arcane Dancer is going to stay online just long enough to mitigate the GTFO, but NATO sick is chasing down Ghost. Ghost is just running at this point instead of turning and trying to fight. I think the call right there was to just swing a 180 and try to fight as you have the shields available right there. Not the case. Actually, I believe Reflex Ultimate was interrupted by the Boulder of Regal, but it doesn't matter as Vanilla Cutie drops down the Tesla Dome and secures the kill. Vanilla Cutie drops the Tesla Dome to try to keep herself from being killed, but she gets killed nonetheless. All 5 team members of Reborn were still alive. The Boulder was there to interrupt Reflex Ultimate, but it just wasn't enough. Too much damage. They have 2 carries, a caster carry who also has significant auto attack damage at this stage as well, NATO Sick who's pretty much maxed out, and of course the just monstrosity of damage that is Countess. So this tanky front line, I don't know if it's tanky enough to withstand this much battering that has been put on them by Reborn so far.
Yeah, and really a poor engage coming out of Grux right there. He tried to go in, his team was nowhere close. He ended up having to escape. They ended up losing 2 people because of that engage. And what I'm going to assume is just lack of communication. This means the tier 2 tower is going to fall, possibly inhibitor. This inhibitor is just being melted. 3 inhibitors down on the side of the Hydra Esports. Just a slow bleed.
Goes in. Smasher grab is there. The deflect shield was forced out from the Boulder. Involve is now being chased down by both the front members of Hydra. The Reflect is back up there, but he's going to use the double pain. They do get a kill over onto Involve, but they have to be careful. The core is under siege here by all 3 lanes. This is just simply desperation, trying to find something going on here. Even with Involve being taken off the field, the rest of Reborn has no shown up. NATO Sick is in hot pursuit of Tokyo. He's got the speed boost. He's got the range. He gets the kill. Reflect, use the ultimate over to Lucer. Iggy off the field now as well. All 3 lanes are sieging down the core of Hydra. One of their frontliners is down. Reborn can go to Orb Prime. As of right now, Reborn could just sit back, take a drink, go grab a snack, no problem. Smoke him if you got him. But this is just this is their game to lose, and I really don't foresee a situation where Reborn doesn't end up taking this game.
Look, I mean, you look at the size of the minion wave currently sitting on the board. There's 28. There was 20-something minions underneath of that cord. Regal trying to do what he can to defend it. Orb Prime picked up. Nella Cutie rotates in, gets picked up by Reflect. Not Ghost is here now, but I don't think he's going to have any chance of surviving. At this point, it's over. And they know it. The minion waves are just too much for the team to deal with. Orb Prime activated. All they got to do now is walk in and end this game. Shane.
The victory march for Reborn.
Who's
Let
the
the minions
MVP,
do work.
Shane?
What'd you say, man?
Who's the MVP, Shane?
Creeps.
Always. Always and forever. Minions. Minion's the real winner here, guys. Minion wave is massive. It's too hard to deal with for these guys at this moment in time. The damage is just too much. And Reborn is going to take this 2-0 over Hydra Esports, Shane. Reflect really much a non-factor at the beginning stages of these games. Not a factor at all. He ends up getting the farm he needs, and he comes back in, and he starts picking up valuable targets. He ends up picking up
Countess
targets
does, man.
And they're able to take that game. They're able to take that game off of Hydra Esports. Hydra Esports, thank you guys so much for signing up and playing. Good luck in the next PCL. Hopefully we see you guys back. They will be playing for third place. But Shane, we've got our finalists today. Oxygen versus Reborn.
No surprise.
No surprise. Two absolutely fantastic teams putting in work. What we're going to do, guys, is take a quick 5-minute break. We're going to jump into Oxygen Reefers versus Reborn next. Who will be the new Dawn champion? Find out in just a minute, guys.